Welcome back once again to the one and only MICPT.com podcast with the one and only owner of the international iconic Made in Compton store. Bone, how are you today?
I'm good in yourself.
Good. Absolutely. It's always neat to have a podcast with you. It's just as neat now to be a board operator on your podcast on Bone with Friends. That's every Sunday at 9 p.m. How neat is that?
Oh man, it's a beautiful thing. I mean,
Yeah.
it's it's forming almost like the way the ideas of Sears and J.C. Penney's was formed. Different things rolled out, different categories, and different products. It's
That's
just
right.
an amazing evolution.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. That's so cool. Amen. And then some backstory to that too. Absolutely. Yeah, I know that it wasn't because I really wanted you to do a podcast in the beginning by yourself, so that way people can talk to you because it was really neat to meet a lot of people and they always ask about you and so forth. So here we are now. We have this time where we have two different shows for the Made in Culture store. How neat is that though?
Oh man, it just took a little time for the training wheels to come off.
Absolutely. Now that you're author as well. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. I was supposed to say welcome to the one and only the owner, shall we say, the founder of the international iconic Made in Compton store, author Bone. How are you today?
Oh, I'm good in yourself. Say, let's a re-roll out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you know how some of the characters, different people, cartoons, even too, definitely comedians. Let me reintroduce myself. Absolutely, let me reintroduce you. But definitely, let me say, I know there's a plethora of things that we want to talk about, especially TikTok. So, in the time being, because I know we have micpt.com scrolling underneath, I want to take everybody really quick to micpt.com. Okay. And here is micpt.com. And you know that it is getting close to Valentine's Day. So here you want to go to catalog this robe right here. Go to all products and click on robe. This robe is out of sight. Look at this robe. Oh my goodness. Look how luxurious this robe is.
The pictures even look soft.
Oh man, yeah, you see that
The way
close
it's
up?
hanging, it just looked like it'd just engulf you.
Right. Absolutely. So yes, that's a big deal. So I just wanted to share with you all. It is worth it. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let me stop sharing. It looks good to even look at. Absolutely. Okay. So at this
Hand
time
over your
frame,
heart and pledge
that's what
allegiance to the city of Compton.
that's right. Absolutely. That's what it looked like. Trust and believe. It feels so good. Okay, so with that in mind, yeah, let's talk about it. Now, what do you think about the TikTok?
Oh man, it's crazy. They got ahead of the time. They said we ain't gonna wait till Sunday. We gonna put a freeze on it tonight, Saturday. I tried to go to the TikTok because I seen you send me a message, and it big old plaster went over the messages and said TikTok has been discontinued.
Man,
So it is
that's
banned in
a
the United States.
man. That's
Now
a
they're waiting for old Trump to say something because Trump threw a little tidbit out there. Oh, we're going to work on it. We're going to see if we can fix it. Yeah, okay, Mr. Promises.
Oh man. Now, why did they want to ban it anyway?
They said because it's government ran, and they say it's really a engine to gather our information so they can use it against us.
Oh, and because of the last presidency is over, it's like pretty much the contract was over for TikTok as well.
Well, no, Biden said he wasn't going to even deal with the TikTok issue. And then Trump is already meeting with the president of China. So, I guess they talking about something because we
Mm,
got more problems than TikTok with China.
I see. I see. Oh my goodness. Ooh, they knew we loved that TikTok.
Oh
Mm,
man, TikTok is like right up under Facebook and Instagram.
mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Then you got all them influencers that make their money off of TikTok. That's gonna really hit them hard in the pocket financially.
Mm-hmm. Man, that was
So
a trip, and it just grew like it was a TV channel.
it's a tear jerker. It's like that was our what you call it, uh the like where you sell the stuff on TV.
QVC.
Yeah, that was like our QVC of the social medias.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sure was. It had its own niche.
And it seemed like it had a different group of people that was on TikTok.
What do you think? The people that are just really into the creatives that are into business, or people that want to are actors, or what? What type of people?
I think it was people that was less personal, people that was just in there for the entertainment and for the to be able to sell stuff on that platform.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because Facebook is like really like people you went to school with and people you grew up with. It's almost like a classmates type social media. And then Instagram is like a spinoff of Facebook, so it's almost like the same people. But TikTok and Twitter it's like a different type of person.
Mm-hmm.
It's really kind of like a little more intellectual too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it take a lot of thought process of what they were doing. Yes, as well, and they were very strategic at it. So yes, so TikTok, something else, absolutely. With that in mind, I know that there was another movie that you were telling me about too before we started the show, and it's very inspirational, and especially we know a lot of people when they hear the story that it's got to be something that could they connect to your book. The game ain't safe as far as knowing about your story as well. So I just wanted to pitch that. Can you tell us about that movie?
Yeah, it's a true story about Anthony Robles. It was a guy that was born with one leg that excelled in wrestling, and he had got a full college ride to Drexler, but he ended up going to ASU where he had to get him a job and work his way through it. But they had a better wrestling program. But then you shut down the wrestling program. But then the coach, being a good intuitive guy, he came with a fundraising concept where they reopened it because ASU shut it down because they said wrestling wasn't making no money and the football program was the only thing bringing in the money. So they said we can focus on football and cancel the wrestling. But the guy had won. Well, he had went to the finals and lost against another guy that was real good that had been wrestling since he was 3 years old, and
Mm-hmm.
he lost to him. But then the next year, when after the coach got the wrestling program back activated, he fought him again and he won. Well, he wrestled him again and he won, and it was a big deal, because he was an inspiration to little kids, and he was an inspiration to a lot of people that was underachievers and regular average people. Because they said if he was born with one leg and he can compete with people with two legs, and the way he trained, his ethics and his workout regimen was second to none. It was
Mm-hmm.
like just an amazing story. And I took a lot away from it because he was going through a lot in his house. His
Mm-hmm.
stepdad was physically and verbally abusing him. And he was going through a lot. He was just, resilient dude. Against all odds, he still prevailed. And, it
Mm-hmm.
just inspired me because now me being an amputee, it's like, I still can do everything I was doing on top of that and still had the same energy and the same drive.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and you're definitely resilient, and that's another testament Oh, to so much. That's why Made in Compton store is thriving because you are so energetic, you're so focused and driven and inspirational to so many people. Amen. So that's really neat. So neat to see about that movie, putting it in the description in the comment area too, so other people can see that
Oh
after the
yeah, you can
show.
watch it on Prime. It's a good movie. It just came out this year.
Okay, cool.
And I
And
seen the story about the real guy because I remembered
mhm,
his face when they showed him at the end of the movie. He had did interviews on the news and stuff like that. And he just an amazing dude. I mean, resilient.
wow, that's cool. Wow, and that was just today that you saw that movie.
Yeah.
Nice. So before we conclude this podcast, I want to ask you one more thing. If you could speak to about your new platform and what that's like to do your own podcast now.
Oh, it's cool. Bone with Friends is something created and really stories me and my friend how we met, things that went on in the city of Compton in the 70s and the 80s. And still like Compton in the box. And what the store got to offer, new sales, new deals. And then we edify like different authors that books is getting showcased at our store. So it's a mix up of everything. And it's never a dull moment because we taking it back to, when we used to walk to the swap meet and different stuff like that. And then, we used to walk to different dudes' neighborhoods and everybody knew each other because they played sports together or they went to school together. And as
Mm,
when Compton was really like a family orientated city and,
mm,
not really like the stereotypical Compton of the gang violence and the gang bangers and all that. It's
mm,
just, it's a story of how the city was born and how, bonds were made. It's just a
mm,
different, well, to say it's different, but as time change, things change. People grow up and outgrow stuff, and
mm,
sometimes people that was keeping everything together move away. So times change. It's just the community growth and different elements that change things.
mm. Absolutely. And the first few shows that you've had have been great. And it's really neat to hear you talk to your friends. And so that's really neat. So hopefully we get more people that want to be guests on the show. By all means, you can either call Bone, call the store, or DM. And definitely, we're looking for more people to be guests on the show and already want to thank all the fans and people that the support the show, support Bone. Oh my God, I don't even know why I'm so emotional, but it's so good. I'm just so very proud of you. Yeah, absolutely. So, is this something that you want to share before we conclude this podcast?
Yeah, I was wanted to know what was your take on Snoop Dogg performing at the inauguration.
Well, absolutely. I think it's really good because he is a grandfather. He's Papa Snoop, and Papa Snoop is looking after his family legacy, and there's money involved in every performance, pretty much. But although people say people perform to support one thing or another, but sometimes, or a lot of times, oftentimes, there's money in the background of different things. And if he didn't go get the bag, somebody else was going to get the bag. So I would love to see Snoop perform. Everybody loves to see Snoop perform, and so it's another platform. And then at the same time, you get so much joy out of it. So I know it's a political situation. Some people look at it as a political move that maybe they wouldn't want to see. And at the same time, what does it boil down to? He went
Look,
and
I
got.
seen a meme that said, I want to see Snoop walking through the White House smoking a blunt, crib walking. And I was like, man, that's crazy. And then I was talking to my brother about it, and he said, well, Snoop Dogg got friends that need to see these streets again, too. So it's good to have political ties with people that can pardon people.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah,
was like, well, yep, that's another way of looking at it. And then it was
mm,
almost like what David Chappelle said. Man, poor people have just got another way of looking at things. They see it from their perspective, and they pour their pain on everything. So that's where the negativity come from. You know what I mean? It's just like it was a business move for him. And I feel like, being a smart businessman, why not?
That's what you have to be optimistic. You're thinking optimistically in this facet because there, I mean, there are so many things that's negative, but of course, the first thing that's on the surface would be to be negative. But yeah, definitely, there are so many benefits in so many things that are negative at different times. So that's just one of those things, and it just
Yeah.
yeah, it's just one of those things. Absolutely. So some people that I just want to add too, like Ice Cube, he brought up, um, he was talking about the 2025 agenda, and he got a lot of slack a couple years back. And it was just like, well, look, he's trying to bring a black agenda, and he's looking for support more. I'm sure he thought he was going to get more support than he did get, but it's like, well, who else is going to take time to devise a plan, and he opened it up for other people to add to the plan to be presented, and he has that opportunity, that platform, the window of opportunity to walk through to talk about it, and that's what he did. And it's one of those things like, well, I'm not sure what he's thinking now, but here we have another hip hop mogul that is, in that platform where there's a window of opportunity to communicate versus only being able to have to listen to and maybe replicate something that's not working. But here he has the opportunity to influence something that could turn out to be very fruitful and productive for, many communities. So absolutely.
Yeah. Man, it's good. We got people like Ice Cube that they forward thinkers and they thinking about, what's in it for us and how can I make it better for my people
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
versus people that's just securing the bag.
Right. Absolutely. So it's definitely, and it takes time. Hmm. It takes time to put those documents together and get those calls in and make those appointments and that schedule. I mean, it's not every day. I don't think that, even at that point back then where Ice Cube could just walk to the White House or a meeting place and meet with people that deal with passing bills and so forth. So that was huge. That took a lot of
And
work. And
and
mhm.
then that's evolution, man, because Cube is the one that said never had dinner with the president. I mean,
Mm,
one of his most famous lines.
wow.
And for him to do a 180 and say, well, I'm gonna sit down with the president and talk about what's in it for my people, that's a
Mm,
big step forward. You know what I mean?
surely was. Absolutely. Absolutely. So now we back at it in a different realm, but at the same time, you never know what other conversations, like your brother was saying, that they could, you know, be negotiating as well. So because I'm sure they had to think that Snoop was going to wind up with some uh, backlash too. So what's in it for him? Maybe the
And then
people.
another thing my brother was saying, like you got to remember that Donald Trump got Harry O out, and Harry O was one of the dudes that funded Death Row behind the
Hmm.
scenes and got it started and helped get it established. So, Snoop might be taking that into consideration too.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Trump, it had something to do with the trajectory of Death Row.
Hmm. Hmm. Right. So there's, like they say, a lot of behind the scenes calls and so forth that take place, and they line up like the nine planets are going to line up. They say by January 25th. That's something too to think about. Like, so absolutely, that's my perspective about that. And so now, since we that caveated into this situation, what do you think about the nine planets getting in alignment on January 25th?
That's crazy. Look, thinking about that make me think about Elon Musk losing that fuselage. Like, wow, what's going on? Was he trying to get it up there so he could get a better view the alignment of the planets or what's going on.
Wow. Right. Hmm. I hope they already have some type of rover or something up there already, because that's only a week away.
Man. And then that might have had something to do with him and Bezos because it seemed like they competing in the space race right now, where Bezos trying to get his satellites up there so he could have something to compete with Starlink. Because Bezos, he got his internet service that's off the satellites that's cheaper than Elon Musk, and they competing right now. So it's a lot of stuff going on over our heads,
Hmm.
literally and figuratively.
I see, absolutely. Ooh, and what is it? Extra. You have those extra. Um, is the well, they talking about aliens and extraterrestrial. What is it? Extraterrestrial.
Extraterrestrial.
Extraterrestrial. Yeah, absolutely. I was like, I knew some, but yeah, there's a lot of different things going on that people talk
Oh, and
about. Hmm.
before we go, what you think about Donald Trump having the inauguration on Martin Luther King Day? Was he really trying to overshadow Martin Luther King Day, or was it just a coincidence?
Oh wait, wait.
Because he do it for his people for real every time, not sometime, all the time. It's always a message for his people.
Mm, well, I'm not sure, of course, about that, but I do know that technically Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday was on January 15th anyway, and this was a day that was, you know, reserved in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King on the January 20th by some other people that I don't think he was a part of that meeting to have this day acknowledged. So we could just leave it up to chance, because definitely every day we need to be honoring Black history. Anyway, we already have this situation about Black History Month. Uh, it needs to be longer than the shortest month of the year too, because that's going to be next. And then you have a lot of President's Days uh, in the next month too. So whatever holiday or per se celebration day it is, and these meetings take place, and so we just need to stand tall and stand strong with knowing that we are all doing the best that we can. We are permeating as much love and compassion for our fellow family members, neighbors, people when we come in contact that are in alignment with what we're not just what we're thinking about, but on the in the capacity of goodwill. So that's why I like to leave it so that way it's on the up and up, and we focus more so on the positive and stay optimistically future forward thinkers.
And then black people as a whole anyway, when it comes to remember Martin Luther King, we need to be in a free space, like, free free thinkers, like,
Hmm.
thinking about supporting each other and helping each other and making it better than what he sacrificed his life for the times that he was here, making times better, coming together as a community as a whole, and uplifting each other, like he said, pick each other up by the bootstraps.
Hmm. Hmm. Absolutely. So that is well said. It's always really neat to have this podcast, have this time with you. Thank you so very much. And everybody have a great, great time. And tune in tomorrow night for Bone with Friends at 9 p.m. All righty. Thank you so very much.
All right, peace.
Welcome to the city of dreams and grind, where stories echo through every street sign, crafted with the hustle breathing in each line. Compton spirit is one of a kind. We paint the murals with colors so bright, every block a canvas in the daylight. From beats that drop to rhymes that ignite, showing the world what we write. Made in Compton, hear the anthem roar. Talents and pride pouring out the store. We lift each other up forevermore. to none, turning visions into gold, we just begun. Compton's making moves, no need to run. We celebrate a heritage rich and deep, in every rhythm, every dream we keep. From the hills to the valleys we leap, Compton's awakening from a restless Compton. Hear the anthem roar, talent and pride pouring out the storm. We lift each other up forever, made in Compton, that's what we're here for. We celebrate a heritage rich and deep, in every rhythm, every dream we keep. From the hills to the valleys we leap, Compton's awakening from a restless sleep. Made in Compton, hear the anthem roar.